what's happening? This is your host, Tinto. And before we get started on this week's episode, I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that showed some real love. It was Valentine's season, and you guys came through, starting with you, Nyari, Miss Purple. Thank you for your generous coffee. Your comment there reads, for the love of the podcast that I've grown to love, please just say mud ting for me. Hey, there it is. And then I got somebody who wanted to remain anonymous. Man, I love you to the moon and back. Thank you so much. It's been a while since you gave some coffees, but you gave 3 generous coffees, asked to be anonymous, and your comment there reads, life has just been missing me, my friend, but I'm back to support. And then Melanated Laura, man, thank you so much. First 3 coffees of 2025, and your comment there reads, coffees to help you recover all the strength you lost from laughing at Neo. And then we got Tarido, another 3 generous coffees as well. And it says, sir, exclamation mark, we are long overdue Legion 2 episode. I'm over here having withdrawals. Well, guess what? You're in luck today. And then I have 041973 _. Thank you for your generous coffee. And your comment there reads, we're grateful, Tinto, and we are here to support you 100%. Then I got my generous friend C. You gave me a coffee as well. And your comment there reads, here is for all the my way, and the contagious love. Thank you for the feeling station. I think I need to bring my story one day, AC. I'll be more than happy to host you. Then I got 3 generous coffees again from you, Kaz. Thank you so much. Your comment there reads, the podcast we have defo grown to love. And then my anonymous friend, you know who you are. Thank you for your coffee. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. You didn't leave a comment. And then Sarah, man, coming through with another bombshell, 10 solid coffees. And your comment there reads, Nguvaya Famba Imbomama Coffee Shop. Man, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. And then we got Ndana, 3 generous coffees right here on Valentine's Day. And your comment there reads, seeing you are so sweetly on Valentine's Day. Thank you. Simbi, hey, my homie down south. Thank you so much for your coffee. You didn't leave a comment, but I appreciate it. And then I've got Fontaineville Le Petit Pot. Hey, I don't know whatever that is. I don't know why I said it in French, but thank you for your generous coffee. And your comment there reads, Tinto, the brother I don't have. Keep on doing the Lord's work. Man, you guys definitely came through with the love this Valentine's weekend. If you'd like to support the podcast in a similar way, please head over to www.buymeacoffee.com/feeling station and give as your spirit leads. Remember, there is nothing too small to support the podcast that you've grown to love. With that out of the way, get ready to get your ribs broken again as we're here for part 2 of Man Like Legion.
Is that a breakup?
I think we have a situation right here.
On the Feeling Station.
Neo.
Hello.
We are back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Part 2 of this exciting episode. And,
oh, God.
And I want to get straight into it.
Okay.
Yeah, so, Legion, I almost feel like calling him that because for some reason I think it sounds sexy with the way that is moving. You guys, you are...
Which one is the sexy pronunciation? Legion.
Legion.
Legion. Yeah. I like that, Legion.
Because you guys are having lots of pleasure.
Oh, God, Legion. You're crazy.
Anyway. So this man now says he wants to get you pregnant and he's got his pregnancy test kit. He does his thing in the morning and then there's nothing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's nothing. And I'm just sitting there like, we're having a pity party together. In my head, I'm like, I told you I'm Sarah now. I can't give birth. Mm-hmm. It will be a miracle. Mm-hmm. So anyway, then we went for dinner later on. No, we went shopping, and then obviously to save time is gone to the other side. I'm on the other side.
You say we went shopping.
Yeah. Why is that funny?
Because you're the one with the money. So,
yes.
So do you want to say you took him shopping? Let's
No. This. Yeah, obviously. I mean, I'm buying stuff. Remember, I'm there also buying stuff for the business.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
Okay. Oh, so this is shopping for the business.
Yeah, shopping for the business. Okay. So obviously, if you want something, he wants to get some stuff for the kids, it's fine. So at one point, like everyone went on their different side in the mall. But later on in the evening, he said, "Oh, let's go for dinner." So while we were on dinner, the guy is on his knees, with a second ring.
Hey!
Hey. The
Wow.
record, a woman with 2 rings in the space of 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so the second ring is for proposing.
Engagement now. This is an engagement ring. We are now officially engaged. So I'm like, hey, but this is becoming complicated. You committed, now we are engaged, but you're still married to someone. Are you intending to keep me as a second wife? So he said, no. I'm working it all, blah, blah. But this time now he's showing me documents from the court, the demands from the wife, like what is she's demanding, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, maybe someone is making progress. Especially when I saw the documents from the court and whatsoever, which was also silly of me. Anyway, so we moved now from the first hotel. We went to the second hotel.
But wait a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry, I really didn't want to interject, but
yeah,
it's just not sitting well with me that there's a whole married man in your presence, right?
Yeah.
Down on one knee, asking you to be a wife. But if you were to present a marriage proposal to the government, they would say no because he's still married.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what? So if a government is saying no, if the powers that be are saying no, why are you saying yes? I mean, not to say that the government is more powerful or whatever, but I'm just saying the number of things that would say no. I would say no to it if I was a friend that knew what you were doing. The government will say no if you to propose, but you're saying yes. How?
Yeah, I'm saying yes because I don't know, Tinto, in my head, I'm just thinking like, you know what, he's going to go home. I'm going to go back to where I live. It's not I don't see this happening. But at the moment, it's silly. Okay, there's something that I told you that about these silly dates I went on just to like for fun, whatever I was doing. Remember, I said that was damaging, but that was also learning curve. Why are you laughing?
I'm just wondering whether you're about to say that saying yes to this man was also a learning curve.
No. Saying yes to this man, this damaging thing I was talking about is like, I felt, now we're talking about it, I feel bad because I feel like part of my conscience was dead. I became selfish. I think if you remember very well in the first, when we were talking earlier, I said I kind of became selfish, but that selfish was to another level where as long as things were going my way. Yeah, so that's the damaging part. Because remember, on all these dates I went on, which on my part were fun, I didn't realize I was hurting also other people. Because probably a guy who's taking me out on a date, they were serious about, they liked me, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm just doing this for fun, just to see like I'm okay, blah, blah, blah. But then it became a thing whereby as long as what's happening in that moment was exciting me. So no one in all these episodes, all these series I've told you, all these relationships I've told you, they felt forced. Either the church is saying you need to get married because there's a child, or there's a guy here who's saying I can't marry you. Now a guy here in the space of 6 weeks is giving me rings that I didn't even ask for. So I was like, oh, okay, fine. Even if I know maybe chances are that we're not even going to get married. Chances I'm not even moving back home. But at the moment, we are here having a holiday. I've never been on such a holiday with such a man, even though I'm the one paying for it. But hey ho, here it is. So I'm having fun at the price though, because I'm also watching my back, like what is happening here, you know?
Sure.
And yeah. I don't know whether to call it fun, but at that moment I thought it was fun. So we moved to a second hotel, and then my friend now, the one who called Leisure, yeah, she lives in this country. So she's like, oh, you've moved to us. We were communicating though. So as I said, yeah, we are at the hotel, this hotel. So I said, oh, we are across the road where they're doing Christmas carols. So I was like, you can pop in and see us. Like, okay. So they popped in. And I told Legio, I was like, oh, my friends, like, oh, let's meet them downstairs. So it's like, oh, you go and say hello to them first. I'll meet you. So I was, we sat in the hotel lobby, and then we were catching up. Legio comes down, and we did the introduction. So my friend's son, who is nearly same age as my firstborn son, now says, "Oh, auntie, I can see bling on your finger. What happened?" So I'm excited. I'm like, "Yeah, oh, congratulations, auntie, you're engaged." And then my friend noticed as well. Said, "Oh, when did this happen? How did he propose?" So I think these are normal conversations. I don't understand how this, as an African man, found this very strange. But we do it all the time. If I see a friend who is engaged, we always say, "Oh, how did he propose?" and all that. Legio's mood changed. Then I noticed that he was not engaging in the conversation anymore. Anyway, they didn't stay long. They left. As soon as they left, it's like, "Let's go to the room." The voice changed. We went into the room. The guy totally lost it. "You think I'm stupid? You're pretending this is your big sis who you've known for years." Because this friend who calls him Legio, we've known each other for nearly over 30 years.
Yeah.
So we've just become like, yeah, we are proper family friends. Yeah. "You think I'm stupid? You're pretending that you've been friends. You're just sleeping with his son. You that young boy."
Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah. Even your friend, I was noticing her, how she was okay. She kept moving her head around, looking at the men who were walking around the area near the reception. "You're all prostitutes. No wonder you're friends. How come she doesn't want to get married?" Those are the stories you tell each other, that we should not marry by just sleeping around.
Wow.
So I said to him, "All these accusations you bring, how come you're comfortable to be with me then, if you kind of know, or if you are convinced that I'm this loose girl?" So
that's a very good question.
Yeah. So I said, "Remember when we had a chat, I told you my don'ts. I told you there are things maybe I can put up with, but remember what I said." Oh, the guy was not giving me any chance to talk. He was shouting. And then, mind you, I've also bought a few presents from here, because this is getting close to Christmas time. So I bought presents for him, presents for the kids for Christmas. He picked all the bags, that the suitcases with the shopping I had brought, and threw them at me. And he said, "Oh, I don't even think you can be using these things to control me." So unfortunately, as he was throwing one of the bags, it landed on my foot. Yeah. So at this point, Tinto, I did not even bother explaining myself. I just was like, wow, remember where you're coming from. I felt like this guy is taking me back to Egypt. Remember, I've talked about domestic violence. So at this point, I'm like, no matter how I love this person, no matter how I'm thinking there's a possibility of us being together or not, at this moment, I just want to run, you know? So, and then it's like, oh, later on he was trying to justify that, or he didn't mean to throw it on my foot. I said, but if you didn't throw the bag, would it land? Why were you so angry? So, and then I kept quiet after that. At that point, I just felt like something in me died. For whatever game, whether it was a game, whether it was me having fun, whether I was bewitched, whatever we want to call it, in that moment, I just felt like something in me died. I didn't even want to look at this guy. So I was just like, what am I doing? What have I done?
Yeah.
I was mad that, out of the love that I had, even with my hard-earned money, I went an extra mile to accommodate him on my trip. And then I'm being insulted. He's sitting in a hotel room that I've paid for and doing all these things. I was like, no, Neil, this can't be happening. So and he said to me, all these things that you've done for me since I've been with you, since I met you, I know you've rescued me here and there. They mean nothing to me. He said a lot of hurtful things. Anyway, so I just left. At this point, I'm thinking, if you think I'm joking, I'm going to take these bags back to where I'm coming from. I'm going to take them back to the shops and get my money back. And trust me, I was trying to check with the airline if I could secure more bags. Unfortunately, I had a lot of business stuff, so I couldn't buy any more bags. I was determined. That's how angry I was. So anyway, there was tension in the room. We didn't talk to each other. We slept all night. The following day, nothing. We're not talking to each other. And then the following morning, he starts making calls to random, different people. random conversations. And then, Tinto, Legio, there's this one phone call he made that made me very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, this is the guy who has exposed a lot of things that men of God do. When he was, remember the Facebook post that I was tagged? He was like, oh, you don't know what these men of God do, how they use girls.
Yeah.
So, yes. So, as he's making these phone calls, he's talking to this girl. And in those confessions, he told me that most of these pastors, when they go to these churches as guest speakers, they have girls who will be servicing them in between preaching services. Yes. So this phone call felt like that. I'm telling you, I was sitting there and he was talking to this girl, reminding her like how it was when they came, how is so and so, how and so. This was about nearly 2 hours.
Was he trying to have this as a private conversation, or he knew you could hear?
Oh, he knew. We were in the same room, on the same bed. We were in the same. There was he did not even care. It was clearly he wanted to prove something. Like, oh, you know what? I'm this. You know, I can get any woman I want. So they were talking. I just like, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, Neo, you are very, very stupid. So while this conversation was going on, I had to remind myself, I'm like, you know what? The same forgiveness I gave myself for however I've allowed myself to get to this point, I'm going to forgive myself as well. And just not to allow this to carry on. This is a man bleeding on me when I'm not the one who cut him. I was so, it felt like he was so frustrated with his life and how, like, I don't understand how my success intimidated him. And he was using his position as a man of God. And I wasn't having any of that. Remember, at one point, I'm like, I'm not your church member. So if when you walk in, they are carrying your Bible, they are saying, Hail King Legio, Hail King whatever, I'm not your church member. So anyway, it was really tense. He finished the call. I didn't say anything. So this was our last day now that we're going to leave the following morning. And I just I have to go shopping and finish the thing. So kind of broke the ice. I said, I didn't like what you said. This is a girl who's like a family to me. The lady who's like a family to me. She's a big sister. And for you to call to say that I'm sleeping around with her son, I felt disrespected. So in this moment, it's like, oh, I'm also sorry, I lost it. It's my insecurity. I'm very insecure, and I'm sorry that I even threw the bags at you. You've sacrificed a lot for me. I don't think any person can do as much as you've done. Blah 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 blah. All the nonsense that you could say. At this point, for me, it's like, I just want to leave this place alive. I've heard the stories, I've watched movies where people are killed, what do they call it? Crimes of passion.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just want to come out of this place alive. Anyway, we said our goodbyes at the airport. He went back home. I came here. This is when I was saying, when the game is over, when it's time to leave, just go. Don't give it extra time or penalties because you're not trying to win the FA Cup.
Yeah,
It will just cause more injuries. And again, I heard in this moment, someone, one of my friends who knew about this, he said, you know what? Toxic people will not be changed by your kindness. You just have to move away and allow their life to be their education.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, you're right, because I'm thinking, okay, this Neo is a nice person, but people don't buy into this niceness. I should have learned, I should have remembered the lesson from the past, So, but then when this guy returned home, my God, he sang praises to my parents. Hey, you gave me a perfect name, Neo, a gift. He kept saying, oh, Neo is a gift to me. I don't know what I could have done. You've raised such a selfless woman, Even my name changed in that house. I was no longer called Neo. I was something else similar to Angel.
Wow.
Angel this, Angel that. Angel, even my mom was like, I'm tired of hearing these stories. Angel this, And it's like, She doesn't get angry. Even when she's up, she's already jovial. She's always smiling. So my mom is also laughing. Like, that's how she's been like from childhood. Even when we're going somewhere, she'll be greeting everyone along the street. She's just a friendly person. So anyway, and then I don't know why I kept talking to him. And then I also hinted a bit of what had happened during the holiday. And at this point, again, he's now beginning to think like to see my parents as if they are being desperate. Because I grew up from a very strict home. My parents are very strict, or I should say were, because I don't know whether I'm older or they are in their 80s as well. They've just become older. I don't understand how they allowed this to happen, knowing that someone that's not like them, knowing that the guy I was with or the guy who kept coming to the house is not officially divorced. Yeah. So then he started complaining. My God, this guy was a serial complainer. Oh, I've noticed your son spends a lot of time with his dad. I think you've done this on purpose so that your son should be monitoring what your ex-husband is doing. I'm like, so you want me to deny my son time with his father? We are done. We got divorced a while ago, and all we do is, even the divorce was not a good one, but we've come to a point where we've just realized, for the sake of children, let's be civil.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, you know what? You don't even go there. So, and this time now I'm done. Remembering the incident that happened in the hotel, I'm now talking back. I'm not this nice Neo anymore who's thinking, oh, I need to be calm, I need to be this. My mom was also beginning to sense a lot of disrespect from him. Like every time we argued, then he would cancel on them. Like, oh, maybe I said you go and see them. Then you say, oh, I can't come. He would lie that he's traveling somewhere.
These are elderly people,
These are elderly people, yes. These are elderly people. And then he's beginning to questioning my parenting skills. Oh, I don't understand, how you're raising these kids. Yeah, you're always out. I'm like, I'm a single mother. So if it comes to taking my son, whether it's football, drama, my daughter is very active, I'm the one doing all these things. So what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
At least give me credit for trying, but you're not going to make me feel bad for something that I have no other option. So, and my daughter is very active. Yeah, she does all these things because of the career that the career path she's chosen. She needs to fulfill certain hours, say maybe even voluntary hours. Sometimes it means I have to pick him up from the volunteering role around 11 p.m. And he was complaining about these things. So I just said, remember, I said, I don't want anyone coming between me and my children. So if this makes you uncomfortable, please leave me alone. So anyway, that was just some of the dramas that happened. And all I can say is Legio had no humility. There was zero. Oh my God, I don't even know how I can describe it. And then he started writing all these things that were happening between us on Facebook.
Oh.
So now obviously he would not.
So now he's now turned into that pastor now.
Yes.
Yeah, who you're saying be careful of these people. He's now become one of them who's doing the publishing. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously he could not mention a name because obviously our relationship is still, underground. So he will post something like, oh, some mothers don't want their daughters to get married because of the financial gain. Oh, some parents will remind you of how they've invested in their daughter, so that when they are enjoying their daughter's money, they want to make it clear that you as a man. These are things he's writing on Facebook. When you as a man, you should feel little that their daughter is where they are because of them. And one of the days he was gossiping about ladies. He's got this thing of looking down on people, and it's like, oh, you people in the diaspora, you don't know anything, you don't even know how to dress. These women, blah. So some of the women he was talking about, I've seen that they are his friends. They comment on his wall. So I just said, Legio, but these are your friends. How can you talk like that? I see that you interact with each other on the wall. How can you say something like that? And then I suspect that he went to tell one of the ladies what I had said without saying the full story, because next minute or the next hour or so, I saw the lady put a post. These are a common friend on Facebook. She put something on our wall saying, "Oh, if you want a man, sis, just go for the man. Don't start talking about my lifestyle." So now me and my other friend who monitors his not monitors actually, but he comes across his post on Facebook. It's like, I was at an event. It's like, Neo, have you seen what Legio has posted? This lady has posted. Is this not the conversation you had with Legio? Because I used to confide in my friend a lot.
Yeah.
So we're like, this can't be a coincidence, honestly. Just this morning we're talking and he's the one. It can't be a coincidence. I'm sure he now went to tell the girl as if I'm the one after him and whatever reason. So I was so uncomfortable with all the posts he was doing. He went on, posting about how women who have money don't have respect for men, how girls who left home at a young age have zero manners, and have embraced other people's culture, accusing my mom of, of not raising me properly. So all these things really hurt me, and I was just like, this guy is playing with fire.
Yeah.
And then my dad's birthday came, and my cousin, the same cousin who wanted to connect me to the hotel guy, booked a getaway break for my parents. Said, "Oh, you're always home. I know because of mobility issues, you don't travel much, but can you just go and take a break at this hotel for a week so you can just be away from home?" So my parents went. And then, because he was visiting them as well, Legio was visiting them every other day. So my mom said to him that we won't be around because we are going to this hotel for a break. We're being treated by our nephew. And Legio came up with this urgent call for help. "Oh, I need to speak to Dad. There's something going on." So since it's within the same city, Mom and Dad just said, "We'll be within the same city. You can come to the hotel." And he then came, he went there. He spoke to my dad. He said, "I want you to give me advice, because of this court thing, the way I'm trying to convince that I need to settle this out of court, the divorce." So my dad was like, "You're putting me in a difficult position, because I don't know how you're going to take the advice I'm going to give you, because you've already placed yourself in my daughter's life and committed to her. So now, whatever advice I give you, you may misinterpret it in a different way. If I say, no, work on your marriage, you're like, oh, you don't want me to, I don't want you to marry my daughter. Or if I say now otherwise, you will just twist it any other way.
Yeah. It's a lose-lose.
It's a lose-lose, yeah. So Legio was going there every single day. He would drag the conversation. Later on, I realized that, he thought that there was something going on between the owner of the hotel and me. So he did not believe that my cousin booked this getaway break for my parents.
But how was he going to verify that something was going on when you're not even in the country? How was he going to verify that?
Obviously, if it's the manager, he will come and spend time with the parents at the hotel. I don't know. That's just me thinking. Because he even made a comment that, "Oh, my cousin does not look like someone who can afford that sort of hotel, or he has that kind of money." Yeah.
Wow.
And then he's telling my dad, "Oh, I'm not asking for advice as a son-in-law, but just because remember, we are family friends. Talk to me as if like you're my uncle." But my dad is like, it's so difficult. But anyway, I like what my parents said to him. Said, "Whatever you do, whether you want to work on your marriage, we will support you. We even know good marriage counselors if you really want to work on your marriage. But all I can ask you as a father is leave my daughter alone until you sort this, because you seem like you're really uncertain with the direction you want to take." Yeah. So at that point now, he started, anyway, they left the hotel, they went back home. He was now gossip. He found fault with everyone. He gossiped about everyone in my family, in his family. The only person I can truthfully say he never talked about were his two boys. Everyone else had a problem. So I was like, oh my God. And then he was even started now demanding doing a video call while I'm driving. I'm like, I can't answer video calls when I'm driving. This is very distracting. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
I know people at home have got these bad habits of talking on the phone while driving, but people get away with it because all they do is to bribe the traffic, whatever. But here, you cannot get away with that. I'm not doing that. Oh, it means you're hiding a man in the car. Legio would complain about everything. Every married friend I had, it meant I was sleeping with their husbands. Every single person I had, it means we are all women who have made up our minds to say we will stay single and just sleep with whoever we want to sleep with. If I go to do my hair, he wants a video call throughout while I'm doing the hair, because these hairdressers who has hairdressers on the one side and barbers on the other side, the hairdressers. He complained. The guys who does photography for my work, the designers, all my business contacts, every place I've been to for business, I've got men there. So this is now me taking the extra time. I've already decided, no, this is not the path. And while I went into extra time as if I'm going to win the FA Cup, God knows.
Yeah.
So I addressed all the nonsense that he was writing, the hateful things he was saying on Facebook. I said to him, Legio, it's okay to walk away with dignity than all this stupidity you're portraying. I said, for the sake of family friendships, what your mother and my mother had for so many years, let's call it off and still maintain this friendship without, us hating each other than we have already hurt each other. Then he said, oh, I do all these things because I don't want to lose you. I feel like I'm going to lose you. I said, I think you've got a strange way of showing it.
Yeah.
Because that's not how you behave when you want to keep someone. So then he said, he's just frustrated because the Neo he saw in his child is not the Neo he sees now.
Okay. So leave the version that you see now alone.
I said, okay, so leave the version that you see now alone. And again, let me remind you, it's been over how many years since you and I saw each other when we were children. This Neo you see is not the innocent girl you played with in your childhood. This Neo has been through fire and high water. I said, Legio, this Neo that you are seeing has been to hell and back.
Yeah.
So unfortunately or fortunately, this woman has learned to fight for herself. So this Neo is not the one you can easily intimidate. I will talk back. You call me I'm rude, but I will talk back because I don't want to go to bed just hurting and having a mental breakdown because of the hurtful things you keep saying to me. I said I walked out of my marriage because I vowed to look after me. I vowed to look after my children and be a good mother and be a blessing to my society without any pain that a man can cause me. And you're bringing this back into my life.
Yeah.
So after this heavy talk, oh, wow, he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know this is how I make you feel. I said, even this God that you claim to save, I feel like you're taking me away from God, because I'm asking myself, if a man of God can behave like this, what can we expect for people who don't claim to be men of God?
True.
So I am tired. So after this heavy talk, he was like, oh, I'm really sorry. I'm even like feeling bad that I'm drawing you away from God because of my behavior. So the storm felt calm. For a few days. It didn't last long. Then he started coming on with a spiritual angle. He spent the whole of December fasting and praying. The Holy Spirit has dropped enough in his spirit to show that Neo is not living right. I asked, I said, Legio, is this Holy Spirit you're talking about, the Trinity, God, Son, and the Holy Spirit? Or it's another Holy Spirit that I don't know about?
Yeah.
Does God lie? Because I am convinced, as far as I am, where I am, I'm living, I have a straight life. There was nothing dodgy in my lifestyle apart from what I'm doing with you, which at the moment I'm not even proud of. So why didn't God show you to say, look, as a man of God, the path you're choosing and how you're treating this girl is not right. Even while you're treating the wife you're claiming you're about to divorce is not right.
Yeah.
He's busy showing you about my life. God cannot lie. you know. And then he's like, oh, yeah, even when you went on thing on November, you were saying you want to be back by December because December is a busy month for your business. And I've noticed that this December, you're not that busy. You were just lying to me because you wanted to play Happy Families with your ex.
Yo.
Wow. Then he swore to me on this day that he will show me, as Nigerians will say, he will show me pepe.
Yeah.
He said, Neo, I will show you fire that my ex-husband, she said, oh, he will show me fire that my ex-husband will end up looking like an angel.
Yay.
Yes, so.
I mean, but why is this man even proud of making such statements? Like
I'm
what?
the man of God for that matter.
He
says, you think you're smart, I'm smarter. I was like, oh, I didn't realize we are in a competition of who is smarter.
Yeah, smarter, yeah.
He says, I can play games more than you. I can even start dating the girls there. Then you will realize that I'm not on your level.
Mm-mm.
Now, every time we argued, he would say, oh, I'm beginning to see why you can't keep a man in your life.
Mm.
Remember when I said he was so inquisitive about my life as if he was to write exams.
It was an information gathering exercise, to weaponize and use against you. Wow.
Yes. So he started now using my past against me, even things I shared in confidence. He started questioning how I made money. He said he was convinced that this money just didn't come from the business or it was the men giving me contracts. I was just listening to him because at this point, I didn't even have energy to be explaining myself anymore.
Mm.
So this particular day when he said, oh, you see, all these men can't be the problem. Neo, you are the problem.
Mm.
I said, yes, Legion, I am the problem. I said, guess what? I am the problem. He said, oh, what do you mean by that? Because now I gave him the response that he wasn't expecting.
Mm.
So I said, yes, I am the problem. Having a child at 20 with a man who never had the best intentions, and I didn't see it. I was young, I was naive. That is my problem. Yes, there are relationships that I've had after having that child. There was a relationship I had after having that child. I gave in to pressure. Guess what? It was my problem.
Mm-hmm.
I nearly got married. I was frustrated. I thought a man of God would be better. I settled for less. I am the problem. And let me make you happier. I ended up getting married on the rebound, a bomb that was waiting to explode. Yes, that was my problem. So yes, I am the problem. But guess what? I have forgiven myself, and God has also forgiven me for the mistakes I have made in the past. I've given myself a fresh start. I believe God has given me a fresh start. You have a problem with it? Live my life. I said, you complain even when the kids are not at home, whether they're at school or they've gone for their own activities. What am I doing home alone? You would make sure you want to keep me on the phone for 24/7 until you make sure the kids are home because you think I'm going to bring a man home. What sort of bondage is that? At times he would accuse me that even he thinks I bring men in the house when the kids are here. I've never, as I told you earlier, I've never even brought any man to the house. So that's when I reminded him, I said, I did not leave my marriage to go through this. Please leave me alone. So in these confused moments and writing all this nonsense on Facebook, he said, oh, guess what, Neo? I am a man of value and principles. He said, oh, as a woman, yes. He said, as a woman, he said, me as a woman, Neo as a woman, I don't have values because I could not hold my marriage. He said, oh, his marriage may not be rosy, but he's still there. So he thought I was going to get angry. And I said, oh, well done, sir, for holding on to the pain. There's a special trophy waiting for you in heaven.
Wow.
Yeah, I said that. And he was so mad. He said, oh, you see, I said, you are very rude. I said, no, I'm the one who failed in my marriage. You're still holding on to whatever is going through, whether you want to keep up appearances.
So you're the successful one, right? Yeah.
You are the successful one. What are you doing with me? You know? So, and then he also said, oh, if I compare you, Neo, to my wife, 99% my wife has faults. My wife can't do this. My wife can't do this. All the cants that anyone can bring, any nonsense of cants that you can think of. He says the wife has them, but the only thing right about her is that she does not talk to men. So as for me, all the can't that the wife can't, I'm doing it. I'm industrious. I'm this, according to a man of God. Yes, he believes I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. But my problem is that I talk to men. So I said, my brother, don't divorce then. 1% versus 99%. You go for the 1%. We all choose our heart. Honestly, Tinto, this statement coming from someone who's claiming to be on separation and about to divorce was very rich. So I was like, you know what? You keep getting insecure. You're like, oh, I don't want things. And if anything, a problem that comes, you're also thinking, I'm also like, okay, if a couple comes to their church, like there's a couple in their church, there was a couple in their church who got married when they all brought children into the family. And unfortunately for the husband, the wife's baby daddy had so much money. So the kids went to the private school while his own went to a government school. So this particular day is like, oh, they are coming for a meeting. Can you sit in the thing and listen? So I'm like, hey, I'm already doing a pastor's wife duties. Not knowing it was a trap. As soon as these people left, this guy was shouting, I deliberately put you on that meeting to listen because I can see this happening between your kids and my kids.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like your kids will have a better life, probably going to all these good schools, having all these gadgets or whatever you can provide. And then because I wanted you to hear how this can cause problems in a marriage. So I was like, wow, I don't understand this. Then the spiritual manipulation started. You remember he had said, he's saying that, oh, God had showed me that, I'm not the right person. I'm doing stuff.
Yeah. You know that's a bit of a funny one because he said that God led him to you in the first place. So now suddenly, how does God, change his mind midway?
Thank you, Tinta. I even said, has God now changed his mind? Because remember, I asked you, did God mention my name? Because now you've lost the address. You're in the wrong postcode. Maybe this childhood thing is not the person that God said is not me. So now God is showing you things. Oh, then it's like, oh, let's fast and pray. God is showing me certain things about your family. So honestly, at this point, I'm like, I don't want to fast. Let me enjoy my food. So after 3 days, he said, oh, it looks like you're not serious because I suggested fasting and you didn't want to do fasting. But anyway, he went on his fasting alone, he claims. And God has showed him that the reason why all men I have dated and why all my relationships don't work and even my marriage ended up in divorce is because there's witchcraft in my family.
Standard. Whenever something can be pinpointed by these people, it defaults to, to witchcraft.
Yes. So I said, so he's expecting my reaction. I'm gonna go. He knows how much I love my family, how much we are close, and he knows I'm gonna get angry. So I just said, man of God, pray for me since you are the one who does deliverance in your church. Pray for me. So I said, and you said you've come into my life to correct every wrong thing that has happened to me in my life. You want to make everything right. At this point, I had enough and I was just being sarcastic. So I said, since you've come to make everything right, just pray for me. Tinto, this guy did not come to make anything right. He surely did a good job making all the other guys look like saints, like he's in his own ways. Yes. The Tipex he used to erase all the bad memories had expired. The Tipex had expired, honestly. How honestly he highlighted that all the relationships that's why I was sharing like I wanted to recap from the beginning like how this was important because it made it look like relationship failed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was all combined plus other extras I've never met all in one person.
Now I get why you would have called him Lejo. Legio,
Yes.
I get it.
Legio,
Yeah, Legio. Yeah, Legio. Yeah,
Legio.
because he has literally taken all of those demons that hounded other people that you found problematic and put them all
Yes.
into himself.
Into himself, yes.
Wow.
I said, okay, I remember you were telling me that you're also about to divorce. And so does it mean in your family there's also witchcraft? Because you're trying to say when people go through divorce, there's witchcraft in their family.
Mm-hmm.
So he went quiet. And then I said, do you remember the conversation that you had with my dad when my dad said to you, leave me alone? And then you were also scared about how people will view you as a man of God when they find out that you're going through divorce, you know? And then he was just quiet. And then I said, do you remember how you now came to tell me how men of God manipulate their members to get money from them?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you remember all these things? Because while these men of God are using other girls, whether on Facebook or whatever, to spy on them, you have done a good job yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because instead of you sending spies, you've come to dig that information from me yourself. Now you're taking every bit of that information, using it against me. I don't understand why parents who worked so hard for me are a bother to you, that you are now writing them on Facebook how they want to be enjoying their child's money that they don't want their daughter to marry.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, the manipulation, the accusation, and all the gaslighting. I think he had just completely forgotten that he taught me himself about all these things.
Mm.
So everything was beginning to add up.
Mm.
And then it's like, the condition that you remember I've said that during the talks with the family, including the letters from the court or other conversations with the family, the wife, there was a condition that the wife would happily settle the divorce outside court on condition that Legio builds him a house or buys her a house.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was very worried about going to court because he kept saying, oh, I don't know what would this woman will say in court. So I said, this gave me big questions, Tinto. I was like, if your life is clean, yes, marriage does happen. People have challenges, whether I've heard people be saying, oh, maybe he was cheating or maybe he did this. Why are you so worried that this woman will expose to the court?
Yeah,
Because
exactly. Exactly.
I said, I've gone through divorce. If people ask my ex-husband, what did your ex-wife do? Oh, he doesn't have a proper thing. Or maybe he'll come up with things like, oh, he doesn't serve me food as an African man. I want my wife to be kneeling to me. Those are the things he comes up with.
Mm-hmm.
But if I didn't kill anyone, why am I worried what my ex-husband will say to people? So why are you worried what your ex will say to the world that you don't want the court to hear, or you don't want your church members to hear?
Mm-hmm.
So it felt like there were some deep hidden secrets that the wife knew about, that now he was like, oh my God, if this goes through the courts or whatever, she's going to be dramatic, or debt linen will be in public. I just didn't get it. So now the last straw, this is now, remember he's hinting the spiritual manipulation. Now he's hinting about the witchcraft in my family. So now this came to name calling. He now said it, oh, you're not serious. You know, I've been telling you to be prayerful about it. There are certain bondages that you're in, Neon, that they are at work in your life. But this is not someone right. It's someone you really love right in your household. So at this moment, he kind of hinted now that this witchcraft that he's been going on about is my mother doing witchcraft on me. And he said, oh, the same spirit that is in your mother is also transferring to you. You don't even realize. Oh, I was like, wow. The same mother you're complaining that they don't want to let go of me because of the money. The same mother that you're saying now they don't want me to get married because whatever. And now the same mother who is desperate to think they want me to get married to you. That's why they accepted you. Which is which? Can you choose which one side only so that I understand?
Yeah.
Because this sounds just like confusion. And then he came with a complaint. Yeah, the reason why I'm saying the same spirit that is on your mother is on you. Because every time I argue with you, or every time I say something nasty to you, something bad to me, something bad happens to me. So I'm like, what are you on about? Oh, yeah, because I believe you're also into witchcraft.
Wow.
So I said, Legio, be careful how you treat people. Some people's tears are dangerous. I have been nothing but good to you. I have supported you in every single way, even in sometimes in things that don't make sense. Instead of you appreciating Neo, instead of you appreciating the person I am, instead of you treating me right, you throw insults left, right, and center. You are even attacking my family. You're even attacking my mom and dad, who have just opened their door to you and welcomed you as that son. So anyway, Tito, I spoke to him that morning, and then he sent a message. I sent a message just saying, "Oh, have a great day." Hey, he got angry. Oh, you wanted to avoid me all day because now you're saying, "Hey, have a great day," because you want to go and do your prostitution.
Oh my God.
So I said, my English teacher, where are you? Come and give me my refund. I thought having a great day is just having a great day, wishing someone a great
my
day.
English teacher, where are you? come and give me a refund.
My refund. Yeah.
You know, all of this is, I have to ask you a question though, Neil.
Yeah.
The pattern is the same from day one with this man.
Yes.
Your patience is a bit extraordinary.
Very.
Almost like it's. I mean, I'm glad you've got lessons that you've put across that are relatable in that cover what I'm about to say, but it's. I don't know how much punching one can take because he's constantly punching at you.
He's constantly.
But what did you need him to? I don't know how many times you've been called a prostitute. If I was a woman, if I'm called that by someone who's meant to be called to me in the first instance, that's it. Or if he tries to hint the second time, bruh, you can. Yeah,
I know.
Why are we taking so much verbal abuse?
Don't know. Verbal abuse, and then this is someone people see Neo as this powerful woman. People see Neo as this no-nonsense woman.
Yeah.
People see Neo as a woman you can't mess with. How I put up with this, I don't even understand. Even someone probably, if they hear this story and they know like, oh, Neo is the one who went, they'll be like, no, that's a different person. You're lying. I put up with it.
Sure.
So anyway, and then, because he's now confused like this, I'm like, you're even the one who's not ready to introduce me to your people. I'm the one who's good. At least my parents know about you. All this nonsense, like, he said, he doesn't want people to think that I'm the cause of the divorce when the divorce goes through. I'm like, nonsense. Anyway, so that was how. The morning now, I found that the son had not been to school for 2 weeks, and he was about to do exams, the older son. So I was like, oh, why didn't you say? Oh, I feel bad to be asking because after the insults I threw at you, how can I now come and say this is the situation?
You should have thought about that before you opened your mouth.
Your mouth, exactly. So anyway, because of ego, whatever, I just said, you know what? Let me just help this boy. So I sent man. I said, I've sent fees. Let him just do his exams because it's not right. And I'm doing this, but I'm also angry with myself. But I just told myself, like, even if it was a friend telling me, Neo, I need fees for my son, I would help. That's how I'm like. So at that moment, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Let me just send the money. So I went on my day as usual. I had a busy day. Later on, I just sent a message. Oh, how was the day? I hope everything has been sorted out and the boy is back to school. So he didn't respond. And I went on with my evening activities. And then later on, it's like, oh, he sent a message. You never thought you'd be financially stable, that God would bring you to a place of abundance like where you are now. the success you have has gotten into your head, Neon, where still when you find yourself assisting a man, the thought that everyone is trying to steal from you makes me see how arrogant you are. I'm reading this the way he wrote it because I copied it.
Yeah.
I did not grow. He says, I did not grow poor. So I did not grow poor. So just because I asked for us to do a project together does not mean I'm here to steal from you. We are talking about the son's fees. I'm just asking if the money has arrived and the boy is back to school. Why are you bringing a project that we talked about, a closed chapter, you know? And then he says, oh, how you think I'm going to use our project as my divorce settlement is a joke. You think I cannot protect your property.
But you've not said any of these things out of your own mouth.
Yeah. So I was like, wow. So I could see in his message that this was a frustrated guy. He was on a mission that was not accomplished. How do you get so angry over someone's money? How do you keep insulting someone who does not owe you anything, yet they keep helping you? I didn't get it. So I just forwarded the message to my parents and they were like, you know what? We've already crossed this guy out. We shouldn't have even tolerated him in the first place. It was our mistake as well. Probably we should have just stopped this from the beginning, but it's never too late. Just cut him off. So on the same evening of this rudeness, that there's this rude message that he had sent, apparently he was on his way home. And he said he starts on the back of his tires of the car. The tires broke and the tire flew off. So he now, remember, he's saying every time he's arguing with me, something bad happens to him. That means I'm the witch.
Okay.
Yeah. So he now sent a message like, oh, this is what happened to me. I was busy. I was out with my daughter for her activities. I came back home. I was not ready to check any messages. I just went to bed. So in the morning now, he's like, I just saw the message. I said, oh, sorry, this happened. I hope it will get fixed today. I hope you're well. Oh, my God. The guy, oh, I can't believe you're responding like this. These text messages bother me. Why didn't you respond to me last night? I nearly died. Oh, no wonder I say you are a witch. So I just said, be kind with your words. God bless you. And he said, oh, God bless you too. But I'm not done.
I'm not done with what?
With talking, telling me how evil I am.
Right.
So he went on to remind me on how he went quiet on me the very first time. Remember when my phone got damaged and I didn't have the phone over the weekend? He's reminding me of that. Oh, remember, that's why I went on you quiet first time. And because of this same behavior, same pattern of not responding to my message because you're with men in the night, you can't respond to my message. So I said, how is this in connection with just me asking if you've paid the fees and the son has gone back to school? He said, if you think this is about money, you are a joker. Your money is not a joker to control me. So at this point, I'm also angry. I tried calling him. He didn't pick up. He said, give me 5 minutes. So he called 15 minutes later. He just started shouting. He said, Neo, I'm so done with this. You are very stupid. You should fuck off.
Oh!
Yes, hallelujah, man of God. So, Tinto,
wow.
Surely I did fuck off. That was the last time we spoke. And we actually even gave him a second name. Mfundisi Legio Ikabodi, the glory has departed.
Amen to that.
That's me done.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's the story of my life.
You know, you might have been caught up in nostalgia, remembering what an old friend was like and rekindling memories from past times and living in those with the prospect of a little layer of romance, you know, may have put a little glaze over your eyes and a little cloud over your eyes for you to fail to see right through the man. And we are all notoriously capable of doing the same thing. Basking in a little bit of nostalgia here and there. And, you know, feeling good when you haven't really had the best of something. I mean, it had been 4 years since you had something really worthwhile in your version of Neo. Not the version that was old, tough, and difficult. And the heart really wants what it wants, and what you wanted was just peace with something that was familiar without having to try and guess what is your favorite color, what is your favorite drink, what is your favorite dress every time you go to a date, and then repeating stories of what happened before, trying to assess whether these people want to be with someone with kids or without kids. I see where the frustration may have been, and I see where maybe the temptation might have been to be with something familiar, because they say better the devil you know, right?
Yeah.
And this is somebody who he had known for a very long time. And to add on to some of what looked like a green flag was the relationship between the mothers.
Yes.
We all can't sit and pretend it doesn't matter what parents think of our people. We do care what parents think of our people, especially in an African context. Where that you still give parents a lot of respect. So if the parents are really good friends, you want to do what is honorable to them. But ultimately, this guy was abusive verbally. I think he had traits of physical abuse, which is part of the reason why he was kind of worried what would come out of the courts. Somewhat, he might have been financially abusive too, I think, because he's giving lazy vibes. You can't really use the excuse to say, as a man of God, I really don't have much. When God is the very same person who says, seek and you will find. Knock on the door will be opened unto you. And when you think about the parable of the guys with the talents, God gave talents to people. Some used them, some didn't. For those that didn't use them, He took them away. So what is it about you that you're not using that God finds the need to take away from you? One, financially. Two, relationship-wise, because you're losing it with your missus, and now you're losing it with Neo too. And then you want to flex on other innocent souls who are looking up to you as a man of God and saying, oh, do you know I can, get other girls if I wanted to? It's just a blessing, I think, that you didn't come out of those scenarios with anything happening to your life physically. Because when you're out on holiday and someone is busy screaming like that at hotels room, I've watched too many Netflix shows to start feeling a bit uncomfortable about something.
Yeah.
And then with you obviously have a big heart. What probably comes from your upbringing, your family environment. I don't know, the amount of chances that this man got, and some of the things that you were doing to help and offer. And you even described yourself as, did you say Mother Teresa at some point? Mother Teresa syndrome or something?
Yeah. When you're always feeling sorry for people, helping.
2025 is a great year to put you first.
That's true.
Because just like you say, people have their own demons. I have my own demons, whatever they are. And friends around me have their own demons. And if demons are things that are within families, etc., they've been there for generations. Who are you to be that one person who's trying to change something overnight?
Exactly.
Let them deal with their own animals. I guess for you, it's just to recognize what your triggers are. Easily, one of them could be seeing a point of need in someone and seeing how you can help. If you know you can help. You can't give what you don't have. If somebody doesn't have compassion, they can't be compassionate. If you're blessed with a compassionate spirit and a big heart, etc., give it to those that are receptive of it.
That's it. Yeah.
And I think you have a discerning spirit that can easily tell you when something is right and when something is not right, because you have the benefit of time and experience behind you. So hey, I'm glad we've had the last of Legio. How long was this whole thing in the end?
So we're talking about 5 months.
Hey.
Oh, this drama, the second episode, yeah? Remember when he came back?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3, 4. Yeah, it was 5 months.
Could have been worse, but it was bad enough.
Yeah, it was bad enough. Yeah. As I'm saying, even though you think, I can handle it, it becomes damaging in a way, because you start thinking, everyone is like that. I'm at that point, like I don't even want people to lay hands on me when we are in church. I'll be like, oh, can you put the hands on your neighbor's shoulder or hands on your neighbor's whatever? I can't stand it. I'm like, don't touch me.
Is this because you don't want something imparted to you potentially, or?
Hey, I don't want something, but I'm thinking like, all this, because I'm hearing a lot of stories, and sometimes even people who don't claim to be Christians. I think we've done I'm a Christian, and I think we've done ourselves a disfavor, but sometimes with the things, with behaviors like this.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of what happened. Looking back, I'm like, I should have done things better, especially tolerating things from him before he finalized everything.
Yeah.
But even him as a man of God, you could also have and portrayed a better. Imagine how beautiful it could have been to say, okay, I've got this thing, but I've got things going on. Allow me, give me time. And then maybe the 18 months he came back and said, oh, I've finally done it. Because things were not working. Yes, I've gone through the drama. Because at one point I'm even thinking, who do you look up to? Who do you report to? Who are you accountable to? No, he was Legio Almighty. He knows it all. No, but so that's also dangerous for me, because you need to have someone that, like if I did something wrong, he knew he would go and tell my parents that, I'm not happy with what Neo has done. But I didn't have anyone I can report him to, because he thinks he's a man of God and he's untouchable, which is also dangerous. Yeah.
You've done well. I'm just looking at your lessons as I wrap this up. Number one, you owe yourself an apology for trying to fight fights that were not yours. You couldn't have said this better. This guy was dealing with very deeply rooted issues. I don't know what happened between him and his wife. I don't know what happened between him and previous relationships, but this man trusts nobody. Absolutely trusts nobody. It could be relationships he's been with, it could be friends he's been around, it could be things he's witnessed, but it was none of your business trying to prove to him that you're trustworthy. At all.
That's true.
Number two, if you give into pressure, the same pressure will kill you. You are going to be Mrs. Legion right now. You would have been Mrs. Legion up until this day. You were given a commitment ring. You were given a commitment ring. You were given an engagement ring. You wanted to be given a child. There was a hell of a lot of pressure. Yeah. And then it goes on to say, don't break your rules to please anyone. I think you generally had a good moral compass. I think at some point you got overwhelmed by physical desire. And I'm assuming you probably had a rule to yourself to say never to mess with a married man before at some point.
Of course, yeah.
So don't break your rules to please someone. That makes sense. Lesson number 3, lessons from your past are your life jacket. Guard them jealously, 100%, because you are very clear to the man, do not physically abuse me. Do not come with any of the stuff that I said I don't want. And it was only just 3 things. And the moment that he actually then started exhibiting that physical abuse and disrespect for your children and your family, you were out. You said something within you died. And that's where that life jacket came to save you, because suddenly now you can get out of the deep waters that you were starting to sink in. Number 4, your scars are your beauty marks. Wear them with pride. And I hope you can use the scars that have come across from how men who are not clear about what they want from the onset can potentially do. And the thing is, you can only lie for so much before cracks start showing up naturally anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Number 5, when the game is over, this is brilliant. That is the time to leave. Don't go into extra time and into penalties, because you're not trying to win the FA Cup, right? They will just cause you more injuries. They really, really do cause you a lot more injury. And then last but not least, use your energy towards things that will grow you and not kill you. Girl, focus on your business right now.
Yeah.
Because that's growing you financially, that is growing you in networking and meeting great amazing people, and the right man who understands what it's like to have children, what it's like to support children, and what it's like to be a supportive partner will really come when it's usually when you least expect it.
Amen to that.
And when you say dating when you're mature makes a big difference, it does make a difference, because then you can smell bullshit a mile away and decide whether you want to tolerate it or you don't. So yeah, thanks Neo. That's an incredible 2-part story. And you guys have been listening to another episode of The Feeling Station. I'm your host Tinto, and I'll catch you in next weekend's episode. Peace.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Satis and Daro Raini and Chake Zain.
Tell me what you're feeling. Now that it's over.
Satis and Daro Raini and Chake Zain.
Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Urudoi motor no to kujidiro amai.
Kujidiro amai. Love is a fire.
Urudoi motor no to kujidiro